our longest trusted English newspaper since 1898. Now available digitally. Computer, order the Manila Times Digital Edition. Subscribed. Get the Manila Times Digital Edition for less than 2 pesos and 50 centavos per day when you sign up for 1 year. The Manila Times, news source of choice, trusted since 1898.
Good day, here are the stories for the Manila Times for Friday, June 24, 2022. Banner, ex-PAL chief to head DoTr. President-elect Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has picked veteran airline executive Jaime Bautista as Secretary of the Department of Transportation or DoTr. Incoming Executive Secretary Victor Rodriguez on Thursday confirmed the appointment of Bautista, who will replace Arthur Tugade. Bautista, an accountant, worked in the country's flagship Philippine Airlines or PAL for 25 years and was its president for a combined 13 years before retiring for the second time in 2019. He rose from the ranks at the airline, eventually becoming vice president for finance from 1993 to 1994. Chief Finance Officer from 1994 to 1999, Executive Vice President from 1999 to 2004, and President from 2004 to 2012, and from 2014 until 2019. Policy key to manufacturing boom. Experts from the government and private sector believe an industrial policy will boost the growth of the manufacturing sector in the Philippine economy as a whole. During the Manila Times forum titled Repurposing Industry for Retooling the Economy on Thursday, local industries were confronted by 3 challenges: intense competition from imports in the domestic market, the need to improve the capacity of domestic industries to penetrate export markets and global value chains, and the need to attract more investments. To address these issues, Aldaba said the DTI is implementing the Inclusive Innovation Industrial Strategy or I3S, which aims to grow innovative and globally competitive manufacturing, agriculture, and service industries while strengthening their linkages in the global value chain. This will result in exclusive and sustainable growth that generates more opportunities for employment and entrepreneurship in the country. PCCI bears wish list for Marcos. In the same forum, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry or PCCI on Thursday presented a list of priority areas that the next administration should focus on. PCCI President George Barcelon said the next government must have a focused approach on some of these very basic areas that need to be addressed: education, rule of law, and ease of doing business. Barcelon also said the government must prepare the framework for digital education that is accessible and affordable. Climate change, the real threat for Philippines. Climate change, not the territorial dispute with China or the Russia-Ukraine conflict, is the real threat to the country's security. Incoming National Security Advisor or NSA Clarita Carlos said Thursday. Carlos said environmental concerns create a chain reaction affecting food, human, and national security, especially among developing countries like the Philippines, which bear the brunt of the effects of global warming. The 76-year-old Carlos said the so-called powerhouse nations vow to cut carbon emissions by 2030 will remain a promise, since many of them have gone back to using sources of energy that are harmful to the environment. Marcos, Philippines recovery on track. President-elect Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is confident that the economy will recover to its pre-pandemic level as he called for a national and new unity days before he assumes the presidency. In his speech at the 10th cityhood anniversary celebration of Bacoor City in Cavite Province Thursday, Marcos said that unity is the first step for the country to recover from the coronavirus pandemic. The incoming president said that he aims to fast-track the government system and make it to work to ensure immediate economic recovery. He said that he has received offers of help because they see a chance for the Philippines to rise again. Marcos gave assurances that he and his team will return the trust of those who voted for him by working to improve the lives of Filipinos. Earlier, Marcos met with his economic team to tackle his priorities in a bid to help the country recover from the pandemic. In business, peso falls to 14-year low at 54.70 pesos ratio to 1 US dollars. Over to business, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP remains comfortable with the current Philippine peso United States US dollar exchange rate even if the local currency has already fallen to a near 17-year low of 54.70 ratio to 1 US dollars on Thursday. From the closing price of 54.47 pesos the day before, the local currency lost 23 centavos against the greenback. It hasn't been this weak since November 21, 2005, when it closed at 54.74 ratio to 1 US dollars. In a briefing, BSP Deputy Governor Francisco Daquila Jr. noted that on a year-to-date basis, the peso-dollar exchange rate has averaged 51.98 pesos ratio to 1 US dollars, which is fairly close to the 51 to 53 ratio to 1 US dollars estimate for this year made by the Development Budget Coordination Committee. In sports, Abuevales Magnolia takes on Phoenix. Topping sports, the Magnolia Templados Hotshots pick up their first win of the season last Sunday, but the team's bid for the back-to-back victories is already being threatened as the Hotshots troop to the Mall of Asia Arena today, June 24, to face the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters without ace forward Calvin Abueva. Abueva is back on the hot seat after being slapped with a one-game suspension and a 10,000 peso fine for unsportsmanlike behavior. Was given a nearly 2-year ban by the PBA. Abueva had seen progress rehabilitating his attitude, but in the Hotshots' last encounter against the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings, Beast failed to keep his emotions in check. He received a technical foul in the early part of the game, then got involved in a little skirmish with the Ginebra guards Nards Pinto and was called for unsportsmanlike behavior, resulting in his ejection from the game. Opinion and editorial. Rigoberto Tiglao and Van Biernes are today's front page columnists. Tiglao hits out at Meralco after a power outage in his place, while Biernes looks into the news being used as propaganda. Today's editorial calls for hybrid elections to be given a big push. Read a full version on the paper's opinion section or listen to the voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to its digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and keep up with the Times. On behalf of the Manila Times, this is Christian Cromaghanay reporting.